All right, let's see if this works. So, enjoy the last whatever time this video is going to be, because in about 2 hours, I am finally getting a haircut. I've had this hair, I've had this hair growing officially since, I would like to say about 1.5 to 2 years. It's been almost, no wait, it started, yeah, it's been close to almost 2 years since I've had this hair. And I've had my hair trimmed a ton, maybe 6-7 times since, but every time I've gotten a trim, it seems like they tend to maybe overcut it. And with my stubbornness, I don't know, for those who have long hair can relate, but with me being stubborn, I tend to play with it a little bit too much. I'll literally just twirl my hair around, literally pull it out for absolutely no reason. So I think it's time for a cut, and I just think it's time for change. It's been, honestly, with the heat coming in now at nighttime, I literally can't sleep. I'll go to use the washroom and realize that I'm sweating, and I'm not someone who, well, now I do, but apparently I never used to sweat so easy, because now I'm literally sweating like a freaking dog. But who should Brian Shaw's first opponent be? Now, as we all know, we're all extremely aware, Devin has been training with Brian. I think that's a given at this point. A lot of evidence. We're seeing a lot of videos Brian's been putting out with Devin just training. They've done, it seems to be lots of table time, a lot of training, a lot of specifics on grip. And as these guys keep going, it does make me think, who is Brian going to face in his first match? I ask myself this quite a bit, because it is interesting. Look at the size of Brian. And of course, it's going to sound wild, but he's an amateur arm wrestler. He's an amateur. What's funny though is he will go into an amateur competition if he actually decides to, and he's literally going to run over everyone. I don't care who you are, you have to be a genetic freak, especially his size. We have a guy here on Vancouver Island who recently, I think he's moved away now. His name is Kale. I've actually arm wrestled with him quite a bit. He's gone now anyways. He is 6'7", 280 pounds, and he's built like a brick wall. The guy is genetically gifted, and he's actually now trying out for the WWE. Well, when we went down to the Washington State Championships in 2022, so close to 2 years ago, it was his first tournament, and he lived around here, but he always showed up at practice. People said he was extremely good. I arm wrestled with him. I was like, geez, this guy's a genetic freak. No tournaments under his belt, just a guy who was extremely strong, obviously gifted, and arm wrestled quite a bit. So we go down to Washington, and I think there was like 7 or 8 of us here from Vancouver Island that have pulled up to the tournament. He enters amateur and pro because it's his first legit tournament ever. Demolishes the amateur division and the super heavies. The guy has only been practicing. Goes into the pros literally right after the amateurs. I don't recall exactly, but I think he took home 3rd place, or 3rd or 4th. No, he walked away with a medal. I think he took 3rd place in the pro division in his weight class. The guy never did a tournament. So, And this guy's genetically gifted. Now imagine someone like Brian Shaw. Now I was originally thinking one of possibly two names. And let me explain. Schoolboy and Larry Wheels. Someone else here did mention, I did do a poll on Instagram, and this is what I said. I said, who would be Brian Shaw's first opponent? I did get a mention here. Derek Smith, Larry Wheels, Schoolboy, or Leonidas. The thing that intrigues me about Schoolboy and Larry Wheels specifically is that they are extremely big household names. Now, from an arm wrestling perspective, obviously Schoolboy, respectively in his own weight class, or I guess to 99% of the population, even in the arm wrestling world, extremely high level. And now Schoolboy's a beast, dude. I don't remember what his exact weight is, but I think he's like 6'4", 6'3" to 6'5". He's somewhere in there, and I think he's like 200. He's coming close to 250 pounds. He's massive. Now, at the end of if we're talking a match happens literally right now, I think Schoolboy wins. Possibly. But Brian Shaw, it's Brian Shaw, man. So imagine East versus West Challenger Series or King of the Table, Brian Shaw versus Schoolboy or Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels even stated recently in one of his videos, he was talking about PEDs, how it's affected his life, and that he relapsed. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. So, from what I gathered from his video, I believe he's stepping away from the sport. So maybe that's probably not the best matchup. But what if you got someone like Jujimufu? Leonidas? Leonidas. I think that's a little too much, in my opinion. I mean, Leonidas just beat Schoolboy. And if you look at him, where is he from anyway? Is Leonidas Italian? I don't know. But yeah, who do you guys think should Brian Shaw face off first? If it's in 3 months away, if it's 6 months, if it's a year, you'd have to assume that, Brian Shaw's going to train like a madman. I think that with him training with Devin and him seeing the level, even if he comes and he arm wrestles at an after pull or goes to maybe like an East versus West Challenger Series event, any of these events, just to see a real professional, hyped up atmosphere event live, I think that could motivate him quite well. And I feel like everybody would want to pull with Brian Shaw in the after pull. I think that's inevitable. Brian Shaw, arm wrestling is just, it's wild. It's crazy to even think that this is a possibility. And I know I'm beating a dead horse because I've talked about this a ton, and I know it's being talked about a lot. But seriously, who do you guys think Brian Shaw could arm wrestle in his first match? I just like the idea of Schoolboy strictly because it's you're dealing with an extremely popular arm wrestler. You could arguably say he is the most famous arm wrestler on the planet as we speak. You talk to anybody who knows anything about arm wrestling, who knows anything, they're either going to mention Devin Larratt or Schoolboy. For good reason. But I think just the household name of Schoolboy lining up against Brian Shaw at an event will bring in a ton of eyes. Obviously from the strong man world and from the arm wrestling world, people like you and I who really want to see this. Even if Brian gets murked, who cares? Let's just see how strong he is when he is ready. Give him a proper training camp. I wouldn't say 12 weeks, maybe 15 to 25 weeks. Set a date. Have him train like an absolute madman. What if he goes up there and he stopped Schoolboy just by him lat dragging downward, keeping his elbow extremely down, and just forearm cupping in. You know, how likely is that to happen? Well, I don't know. But I just think that's extremely exciting to just think about him, the hype to the match, Engen most likely going to organize this event, going live on Core Sports, or like, I don't know. I just think it's going to be super cool. It'll be extremely healthy for the sport. The sport's growing at an absolute wild pace. And this could be, sounds wild, could be one step in the right direction for this sport to eventually be in the Olympics. Yeah. It's wild, man. Yeah. And speaking of, like, matches, I will be coming out with an East versus West 14 predictions video. I'm planning on making this one a little bit more detailed. So for those who enjoy the prediction videos, I will have one coming. I've just started to touch it up a little bit. So I'm coming up with a plan, and I'm thinking I might have it released literally on the day that East versus West 13 is happening. There's going to be some crazy matches. Yeah. And I'm also considering doing a King of the Table predictions video as well in the near future. Because I am leaving for Hungary in like 5 days or 6 days. No, sorry. I'm leaving next Monday, but I'm leaving to Quebec in just a couple days with the girlfriend. I do plan on making content while I'm there. So if there's anything you guys really want to see, it would be, I mean, I'm going to be extremely busy with vacation, but there will be a lot of content coming out. And like I mentioned in the last video, you will see some content with long hair and you will see some content with short hair. And that's strictly because I have pre-planned some videos for you guys to be released once I'm away. And then of course you guys will get the current situation while I'm over there, but I definitely want to get some really cool footage of the guys in Hungary, the arm wrestling team that competes there. I would love to get 2 or 3 practices under my belt and just ask them a ton of questions. Get on, just see what's going on in the European scene, because you would have to assume that most of them train very similarly, just like us in North America. And maybe there's something I can bring there that they could take value from as well. But yeah. Very excited. This is, with my current work, I get 25 days vacation per year. And usually a majority of those days I use at Christmas time to head home and see family. And then usually the other days I use around for either friends or family that come up my way, or maybe more of a small local trip. But this is the first, I can officially say this is the first time, and I honestly don't know how long, how I am extremely excited to just go on vacation. And not only be on vacation, but I'm also excited to film some content for YouTube while I'm out there. I have some ideas. I really wish I had like a drone and some high-end camera gear to do some really cool footage while I'm there, but I definitely will be doing something, especially for arm wrestling, of course. But this is the first time, and I honestly don't know how long, how I'm just extremely excited to go. Have you guys been to Hungary? Have you guys been out that way at all? There was also talks of possibly going to Austria. Don't know if that's actually going to happen, but there's a possibility. But yeah, we're leaving soon. Leaving very soon. I also got my blood work done today. No, I didn't get it done today. I got it checked today for the second time. But I got blood work done, what are we, May, June? May. I got my blood work done in May. for certain reasons that I will make a video on in the future, of course. And I found out today that I have an extremely high iron concentration in my body, which a lot of these terms I am extremely uneducated on. I just do know that it's not good. I think the rough numbers, I mean, there's definitely someone who would know more than this that's watched my videos about this stuff than me. But I think the numbers for the iron deficiency, or for iron in general in the body, is between 200 and 444, something like that. And mine is like almost 600. It's like 550 or 555. So it's not alarming, but I definitely have to now take steps forward for this issue. And anything over 600 is not good. So I went and got my blood work checked today, because I have to do like a 2-part medical exam for my possible last-minute deployment situation. Conversation for another time. But they now have me booked in for, well, today I had to go do a urine sample because, well, they also found blood in my urine. Concern, of course, not good. I will get into this another time, into much greater detail, but I had to go do a urine sample, and if the sample comes back positive, I then will be sent off to do an ultrasound on my kidneys. And if there's nothing that comes back, if that comes back negative or positive, well then we're gonna be resulting to other things that I don't really wanna do. But yeah. Also, I'm still getting pain in my elbow. We're like 5 days out. So I think today will be I'm thinking on doing possibly a leg day. Maybe tomorrow will be my official last day of actual training, but tomorrow will be more like blood flow. Maybe some arm wrestling specific tools. And that's it, man. My arm's burning. I'm sweating because of this long hair and the heat. My forearms are pumped. But yeah, if you guys liked it, like the video, consider subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh, my hips. Oh, shit. Peace.